Hi, it's Erica with Goat Tutors, and today we're going to be solving one-step equations. So let's get started. A one-step equation is just an algebraic equation that we are going to solve using only one step. And the answer you get, or the solution you get, will make the equation true. So if we were to substitute our answer back into the original equation, we would get a true statement, meaning the left side of my equation will equal the right side. So in order to solve any type of equation, we have to do what's called the inverse operations. So it's sort of what cancels them out, or what is the opposite of that. So the opposite of addition is subtraction, and the opposite of multiplication is division. When thinking about solving equations, we have what I like to call the golden rule of algebra. And the golden rule of algebra says what you do to one side of an equation, you must do to the other. Because remember, solving equations is like balancing a scale. I can't add or subtract something to one side and not the other side, because that's going to throw our scale off. So let's take a look at a few examples. For our first example, we have h minus 12 equals negative 27. So I want to get my variable isolated. That's always your goal when solving equations, is to isolate or get the variable by itself. So I see I have h minus 12. So the opposite of subtracting 12 would be to add 12. And remember, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. And what I mean by sides is my equal sign. That equal sign splits your equation into two sides. And if it helps you, you are welcome to draw that vertical line down through your equal sign so you can see the left side and the right side. So if I look at the left side, I have a negative 12 plus 12, and those cancel. So on the left side, I just have h equals, and then we have to take negative 27 plus 12, which is negative 15. So my solution is h equals negative 15. And for this one, I will substitute it back into my original problem so that you can see when we do that. It's a great way for you to check your answer. So I have negative 15 minus 12 equals, with a question mark above it because we're not sure, negative 27. So then let's simplify the left side. So negative 15 minus 12 is negative 27, which does equal negative 27, so we are correct. The next example, I have k plus 63 equals 92. Again, we want to get k by itself. So the opposite of adding 63 is subtracting 63. But what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So for this problem, we end up getting k equals 92 minus 63, which is 29. Okay, so we've done addition and subtraction, but let's look at one or a couple with fractions in them. There is no difference when you're solving equations with fractions. So for the first one, I have y plus 4/5 equals 2/3. Again, isolate the variable. So the opposite of adding 4/5 is subtracting 4/5. The only difference here is we have to actually subtract our fractions. So I'm going to have 2/3 minus 4/5. So to subtract fractions, we have to find a common denominator. In this case, it is 15. I multiplied the denominator of 3 by 5 to get 15, so 2 times 5 is 10. I multiplied 5 times 3, so we have to multiply the numerator by 3, so that's 12. And then we subtract the numerators, so 10 minus 12 is negative 2 over 15. The next fraction is a little bit different because now my variable is in the numerator. So we have to think I have my variable divided by 12. So always ask yourself, okay, what am I doing here? I have s divided by 12, so the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 12. So if I have 12s over 12 equals 36, my 12s here are going to cancel because anything over itself is just 1. So I'm just left with s equals 36. All right, our last two, there we did division. So now I have negative 75 equals negative 15b. So ask yourself, what is holding my negative 15 and my b together? Well, the only operation that says I can put a number right beside a letter with no operation symbol in the middle is multiplication. So I have to do the opposite, which is divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 15. So my negatives cancel and give me a positive, and 75 divided by 15 is 5. So b is equal to 5. And the last example we have is very similar. It is negative 8x equals 96. So I have a negative 8 being multiplied by x, so we have to divide both sides by negative 8, and we get x is equal to negative 12. If you thought solving these one-step equations was pretty simple, be sure to join me for the next video on solving two-step equations.